Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today is another episode of Magic Talk with Toad. Hello, Toad.
Hello, Drew.
Hello. Today is a special episode where we are doing a summarized um, set review for Value Vintage for the new Edge of Eternities. And Toad and I, mostly Toad because I've been busy working, but Toad and I have looked through the Scryfall for both Edge of Eternities, Commander, and the Stellar Sites, the Mystical Archive.
So we are not going to do every card in this set, but we have a lot more for this set than we did for the Final Fantasy. We're looking at 52 cards right now.
Yeah. And honestly, I've been kind of hyped for Edge of Eternities. It seems like a really fun set. What do you think about it, Toad?
I blinked and it was over. Now we're on Spider-Man.
What? No! Ah!
Yeah.
Let's savor the flip.
I like this set. The spectral sights look cool. The galaxy foils look cool. The space stuff, I wasn't sold on it, but I'm going to give it a shot. The only thing I really don't like about this set is that they've been giving us... So in Aether Drift, we got a bunch of cards that work with vehicles and mounts, and then spaceships don't care about any of that, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, they're spaceships, though.
I mean, a spaceship is still a vehicle.
But spaceships can hold many vehicles.
That's true. But based on power and toughness, spaceships are the same size as the vehicles we already have.
But they're spaceships.
I'm aware that they're spaceships.
All zebras are horses.
All right, let's jump into things.
Alright, let's jump into things. Enough about zebras and horses.
So I just went ahead and tagged some stuff in the list. So if you want to reopen it on your end.
Yep.
We will start with the reprints and just run through those very quickly. And then we'll get to the good stuff.
Sort by advanced. Where's the tags? I have tags off. Type and tag.
You group by type and tags.
There we go. I did it.
Alright. So
cool.
the first card we're going to look at is a Darkar Wastes. A Darkar Wastes is really going to stand in for pretty much all of the reprints that are in the Commander decks. They just get cheaper every set. We're down to like a quarter for Pain Lands. That's great.
They're also rotating out of Standard soon.
They're rotating out of Standard. They just got reprinted. Painlands were like the luxury option. So like Painlands and Fastlands were kind of, well, I've got $3 I don't know what to do with, so I can add a couple of these. Now I think Painlands are the good option. Like you probably want Painlands in your deck.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they go back up over 50 cents, but if they stay around 20 to 30 cents, this is probably the new king of the mana fixing. For aggressive decks at least, but also combo decks can use these really well. So then we have Blinkmoth Nexus, which...
for me it says Emery.
Are you not sorted by alphabetical?
No, I'm not.
So we'll sort them by name, Drew. We gotta be synchronized.
I see.
So group, type, and tag, sort by name.
So I have Swarmward, Petrified Field, Mutavault, Grove of the Burn Willows, Emery.
Sort them by name so that they are in the same order.
I'm giving a hard time. Yeah, they're in the right order.
Joe. Right. Blinkmoth Nexus. So we've had Mishra's Factory basically forever. It's been cheap for years. Blinkmoth Nexus was a couple dollars as far as I can tell. So there are some decks that might want more artifact creature lands. I have been thinking about brewing with Baba Lysaga in this deck.
Who?
So Baba Lysaga is a 3/3, and you tap her and sacrifice up to 3 permanents. And if there were 3 card types among the permanents sacrificed this way, I believe you gain 3 life, draw 3 cards, and each opponent loses 3 life.
What a weird card.
It was a Strixhaven card. Actually, I don't even remember. Let me look up.
It's Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, she is 13 cents.
Oh my god, the alternate printing of her looks so gnarly looking. It looks like a Shel Silverstein.
Yeah, I've got like edge foils or something. But I was trying to brew around her for a while. She really likes Mishra's Factory because Mishra's Factory becomes a permanent with 3 types. So you tap, sack Mishra's Factory, do the whole thing. But it was not reliable to have a Mishra's Factory. But if you can also have Blinkmoth Nexus, then you're running twice as many copies. The creature lands by themselves are reasonable because that's always something that decks like to have access to. Blinkmoth Nexus is flying, so it can steal initiative.
Yeah, it can.
So this is something I'm interested in building around now that it is a 60, 70 cent card.
Okay.
Eldrazi Temple is down to $2.50, which is a lot, but things like Thought-Knot Seer are affordable, like $2.50.
Thought-Knot is $3, $2.84.
Yeah, so you can start to afford some of the Eldrazi stuff, and you're going to get a bonus. Being able to tap your lands for 2 mana has always been really good. We'll have to see if the tempo goes down more. At $2, it's really good. At $3, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But this is one that people have been interested in building around, and now we've got a reprint.
I like the artwork on it a lot. That's really cool looking.
It looks pretty cool, yeah. Emery, Lurker of the Lock. This is another card where it was difficult to fit into lists because it was $2 or $3. It's been reprinted a couple times and it just goes down a little, but it has finally been in enough commander decks that it's a 50-cent card. So this is good with a lot of the same stuff that Luris is good with.
Uh-huh.
But you also have the ability to use stuff like Sojourner's Companion or Etch Champion. So some of the bigger artifact creatures, and there might be a deck that can use this to reanimate like weird stuff, like big spells. Shorikai has gotten cheaper.
How much is damn it, what's the big 11/11 with trample, infect, indestructible?
That's $1 million. Blightsteel Colossus. Yeah. Blightsteel Colossus is not legal in Value Vintage.
Nope. It's not even the pig level.
Yeah, so we're not doing that with anything like that. That's the best Tinker target in the game, but we're just not doing that. We're going to use our Mere Battle Spheres and our Steel Hellkites. Where Emery looks really good. If you are doing Mishra's Bauble stuff, Emery looks really good. If you are doing Lantern Control without Rest in Peace, Emery looks really good. And if you are doing like a more control-ish version of Affinity where you want to draw the game out a little bit longer, which is not most Affinity decks, but if you want to try that, Emery does enable those kind of decks as well.
Yeah.
So that's another card that has been reprinted and is now very reasonable. Grove of the Burn Willows.
All right.
Was extremely expensive before this printing. Like we're talking about $8 to $10 for the cheapest copies. Now we're under $3. You don't need a playset of this. You can run 2 and get away with what you're doing with it, which is recurring the card Punishing Fire.
I was about to ask, how much is Punishing Fire?
Punishing Fires are cheap.
Punishing Fire is...
They are 10 cents, 16 cents.
16 cents.
So you get your 4 Punishing Fires, you get 2 Grove of the Burn Willows, you've got an entire package in your deck, takes up 2 land slots, 4 spell slots, $6.
Yeah.
And that just gives you a little bit of inevitability. It's not great at burning out players, but it is amazing at killing 2 toughness creatures. And you can also do 4 toughness creatures if you need to.
Yeah.
So I will be brewing with those. The Raging Gal deck that we showed off a few weeks ago is potentially a deck that would like to have Grove of the Burn Willows and Punishing Fire, because that is a card leaving your graveyard every turn.
Holy shit, it is. Yeah.
So that's the first thing I want to do with this, but it's also a control thing. If you're playing a control deck with red-green, or honestly, ignore the green. If you just have red in your control deck and you want to run Punishing Fire, then this counts as a mono red land. Taps for colorless if you're doing Eldrazi stuff. So 273. Again, this is another one where if it goes down to $2, I'm all in on it. If it goes back up over 3 pretty soon, then maybe not.
Yeah, we've hit the one major price drop recently. I'm expecting there's going to be another.
So yeah, once the stuff was all available for people to buy an open product at big box retailers, the prices for everything. A lot of the cards on this list we're talking about are 50 or 75 cents. Those were $4 cards a week ago. So we're looking at some very low prices right now, and we're going to have to wait and see if things stay this low or go back up, or if we get really lucky, things get cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Mutavault, if you look at Mutavault on Moxfield, it's going to tell you that it costs 17 cents. That is not correct. That is a listing like the Summer Magic Dark Rituals, which it's just not a real price. Don't go by that. However, if you switch it to the next cheapest price, which is the new printing, it is at $3.22.
Yeah.
So if you are doing a deck where your creature types matter, Mutavault is one of the best cards that has ever been printed for Kindred type decks. So I don't have a home for Mutavault right now. $3.22 is still pretty pricey. The card that I would like to use it with is Unholy Annex.
We had that mono.
I
was like, we had that mono black demon aggro list we were kicking around, but we didn't do anything with.
The problem is that Unholy Annexes are $2.25 or so. So if you're looking at 4 Unholy Annexes, that's $9 or $10. 4 Mutavaults, it's another $12 or $13. That's $24, $25 of your budget is just soaked by those 8 cards.
Yeah.
It's not enough room to play Inquisitions and Hymns and all the other stuff you would want. And Mutavault is also a little bit awkward with Hymn to Turok. But this is just a tool to be aware of in the format.
Yeah.
So decks like Merfolk and Spirits, the core of those decks can usually be like $10 to $15. Those decks might want to fit a couple Mutavaults. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Price goes down, I'll start finding homes for it.
Hell yeah.
Petrified Field is $1.50 now.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I pointed out to you the other day. I don't know what it can be used in, but it seems like it can be used for something. Like a Lance deck.
One thing that you can do with these that is kind of interesting is if you have like a graveyard type thing, let's say you have the Get Rock monster.
Let's go!
You can just sacrifice Petrified Field to get back Petrified Field.
Yeah.
and that's not a thing that we've had in the format. It's not something that's inherently broken, like you're kind of treading water. You need other ways to turn it into value, but now that's a thing you can do if you want to do it. It's also insurance for land destruction if you're playing Trench Post. Maybe you want one petrified field to find with your Goloses.
Yeah.
Probably you don't. That doesn't seem super great to me, but again, it's options. We're adding options to the format.
Yeah, I was thinking like for like a lands deck, like dark depths type shit. If somebody blows up your dark depths or whatever.
I mean, you can. That's a legal play.
Yeah.
So we've got Swarm Yard sitting at $1.35. So the prior printing for this card, Brewers Commander and Time Spell Remastered, were both sitting at about $5, give or take a quarter. And now we're a little bit above $1. So these creature types are not the best creature types. Like, obviously, that's kind of the gimmick of Swarm Yard. However, a lot of the cards in this set are insects. A lot of the cards in Bloomborough were squirrels. And there are a couple rats and spiders that are playable, just not particularly good.
I want to play my Relentless Rats value vintage with this. Let's go.
I don't think we're doing that. But
no, that's a bad idea. Don't do that.
Any changeling creature can be targeted by Swarm Yard. So if you've got a Taurian Mauler or a Chameleon Colossus, which are cards that are not really in the meta right now, but this is just the kind of thing you can think about. If you are running Mutavault and you want to regenerate your Mutavault for some reason, that's a thing you can do with Swarm Yards. What I'm really interested in with Swarm Yard is a couple of the cards that we will get into later on in this review.
Yeah.
Which are insects from the new set. So let's go ahead. What's that?
Let me reply to something. I was saying this set has a lot of insects.
Yes, a lot of the creatures in this set are general good value on their own and happen to be insects. Just like a lot of the cards in Bloomborough are okay standard power level cards that just happen to be squirrels.
Yeah. Alright, so next up in the artifacts.
Yep. So we've got Cryogen Relic. I've already been seeing people play this in Pauper, so it's pretty impressive so far. This is one of those, like, I forget what, Ichor Wellspring type cards. It does take blue mana. The interesting thing about this is it sacrifices itself.
Yeah.
So you don't have to draw the Deadly Dispute. This is just gonna give you 2 cards. So this could be interesting with Luris. It could be interesting as artifact fodder for a Tinker Shell.
Yeah.
It could be interesting in a deck like that has Yorion as companion that wants to blink stuff, because if you blink this, you're going to get 3 or 4 cards out of it total, because comes in, draw, leaves, draw, comes back in, draw, sack it, draw. This starts to look like some real value.
Are there Yorion value vintage list?
It's something that people talk about. It's one of those things where it's kind of missing some pieces, and this could be one of those pieces where the deck has not really been having, like, you haven't had a good artifact or enchantment draw engine for Yorion. You can kind of like mess with Spreading Seas or whatever, but beyond that, it's tricky. But this is a lot of just raw card draw. And then the fact that it sacrifices itself, the thing it sacks itself to do is not particularly good, because it doesn't tap a creature, it just stuns an already tapped one. But really what you're playing this for is moving it in and out of play, drawing cards.
It is a flicker target.
It is a flicker target. It is a sack and recursion target. This is one of those cards where Emery, Lurker the Lock, wasn't a good thing. Now it could be. This would be an Emery card.
Yeah.
Extinguish your battleship. So I am interested in this card.
This is the only space. It's the only spacecraft on the list.
Probably. I looked at the spacecraft. I didn't really see a ton of them that I thought were great.
But a lot of them are pretty shitty.
A lot of them seem like they're commons or uncommons designed for limited, or rares designed for commander, like the 5-color one. And that's fine. Maybe some of them are better than I'm thinking, but I like this one a lot as a tinker target. Because you don't have to cast it to get the effects. So you tinker for this, it blows up a non-creature permanent, and it deals 4 to every creature. And then Station 5 is not unreasonable.
No, it's not.
Like, if you've got a 3/3, then you can get that in 2 turns. And the payoff, a lot of the station stuff is you're tapping like Station 6 to get a 6/6 flyer. Well, you could have just attacked for 6 with your creature. You didn't gain anything. But if you tap 5 and get a 10/10 flying trample, you're doubling your damage. Yeah. So if you have something just like a bigger creature, it's like a random 5/5, 5/4. I wouldn't think off the top of my head of what you'd be playing with for that. Like, it's not a Nick Fit card, so that's one of the decks where you do have like 5/5s and 6/6s in your list. So you kind of would have to build around this if you wanted to reliably be able to tap 5.
So question.
But just as the enters the battlefield trigger is the value here.
So question of the day, is this a scientist card?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's like the scientist is a tinker deck. The problem is the scientist is a vehicle and equipment deck. We're using anchor to reality, and so we want our tinker targets to also be anchor targets.
True.
And this is not, because it is not a vehicle, it's a spacecraft.
Very true.
So I think the decks that will want this more are maybe decks that are interested in tinkering for Torrential Gearhulk.
Okay.
Because Gearhulk is a castable tinker target. It survives the 4 damage to each creature, and it immediately can station the battleship into a 10/10.
That's pretty dang good.
So I think if you're already tinkering for Gearhulk and you want a sweeper in your deck, this could be something to consider. I'm definitely thinking about it for one of my tinker decks besides the Scientist.
Got it. It's definitely a cool card. I like the artwork on it.
Yeah, the artwork's good. Just the idea of paying 2 and a blue and sacrificing a treasure token or a clue or something, and just getting 4 damage to each creature and blow up a planeswalker or an enchantment, or even a land. Like, you can tinker and blow up their land and all their creatures against an aggro deck. Seems good to me.
Pretty backbreaking.
This is another one. What if you're a tinker deck with Yorion and you get to Yorion this battlefield trigger?
That's kind of nutty.
Or if you are blinking permanents, there's not a lot of spells that blink artifacts, but there are a couple reasonable ones. And so I don't know, I don't know if you want to rely on getting this into play with Tinker, because you kind of want your Tinker targets to be proactively winning the game for you.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is more like, I'm going to really mess with what the opponent is doing, so it's more of a plan B or plan C for a Tinker deck.
There is no planet B.
Yeah. At 37 cents, I'm very interested in this card.
Yeah. You don't listen to King Gizzard, you want to get the reference. Anyway.
I don't. Insight Engine. So this is a 3-mana artifact, 2 and a blue. 2 tap, put a charge counter on it, draw a card for each charge counter on it. This one's sitting at $1.15. I think it'll probably settle at $1. this is a great draw engine. Just outside of like any proliferate stuff. This is just 2-tap, draw a card is about the going rate for artifact draw engines. And then this one will draw you 2 cards the second time, and then 3 cards the first or the third time. I think if you activate this 3 times and you're not just dead on board, you're probably winning the game.
Yeah. It does seem a little slow.
It's a little slow, but here's the thing. It's not sorcery speed. A lot of these effects are either sorcery speed or you have to discard cards. Like some of the old tomes have to discard cards. So you can play this early on or late in the game when you can hold up interaction, and then at the end of your opponent's turn is when you're activating it. So the competition for this card, I think, is Shorikai. Shorikai is down to like 225, 250 again. So they're competing with each other. But this is a card that I'm interested in, and this one might be a scientist card.
Oh, that might be a scientist card. Okay.
I've been thinking about some proliferate stuff in the scientist.
Okay.
Because we have incubators and tesserets and the braided nets are all taking advantage of counters.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't put any in, but if I fit room for like 1 or 2 of these in there, then maybe we start looking at proliferate cantrips.
How much is Karn's
instead
Bastion?
of consider. Sorry, what's that?
How much is Karn's Bastion?
It's still fairly expensive, I believe. I checked it recently.
61 cents.
Okay, that's not terrible.
I got reprinted.
The thing with the scientist is you need your basic lands for the border post.
Oh yeah, of course.
So we're not going to mess with the mana base at all, but we could replace like Lorien Revealed with Tezzeret's Gambit.
Yeah.
So stuff like that is on the table. Melded Moxite. So this is a 5-cent card, 4-cent card. It is a Tormenting Voice artifact. So again, Tormenting Voice is a staple effect. Usually it's not good enough, but when you get extra value with them, sometimes they show up. The extra value on this one is it sacrifices itself to make a 2/2 creature.
Is there a cycle of artifacts where, like, it enters, does a thing, then you pay a cost and does another thing?
Probably. I believe so. Like, there's at least the blue one and the red one that we're looking at, and then there's a 3-mana food, but that one I believe is an uncommon, so I'm not sure if it's a cycle or not. But if you like sacking artifacts for value, this is the best set you've gotten for a long time. And that is me. I am one of those people. So I'm pretty happy with what's in this set. So Melded Moxite, another Luris card, potentially, another Emery card, potentially. And it's cheap. Like, this is Sorcerer's Spyglass level of cheap for fitting into the last couple slots of a deck.
Yeah.
Memorial Vault is 14 cents. We're looking at a 3 and a red artifact. Tap, sacrifice another artifact. Exile your top X cards, where X is 1 plus the mana value of the sacked artifact, and you can play them this turn. So this doesn't say non-land anywhere on it. So you can always sacrifice an artifact land to just get 1 card deep. And if it's a land, you can play it. You can sacrifice an Ichor Wellspring to dig 3 and draw a card. That's pretty good. You can sacrifice a Mirror Enforcer or a Frog Mirror Enforcer to dig 7 deep.
Yeah.
And cast as many of them as you can, which if your deck is full of Frog Mirror Enforcers, probably you'll be able to cast some. So this one I'm interested in. 4 mana is a lot. You can activate it immediately, but you've just spent 4 mana, so you might not have access to a lot of resources to cast the stuff you dig into.
Yeah.
It doesn't sacrifice itself, so you do have to have other artifact stuff going on, but that's reasonable in this format.
Hmm.
And then if you are sacrificing the big affinity creatures, you just get so deep into your deck.
Hmm. It's kind of nutty.
Yeah, and again, we're looking at 14 cents here. This is I have 2 slots and $1. What can I fit in?
I got you $1.
Pinnacle Star Cage.
The professor was talking about this one.
Yep, so this one is one of the more expensive cards on the list. We're over $1 for this guy. But I will say, I believe in this one. I've already bought them for my paper decks. This card is really strong.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 1 white for an artifact. When it enters, exile all artifacts and creatures with mana value 2 or less, as long as this artifact is in play. So this is basically, I think it's called, I forget what it's called now, but there was an enchantment that did this effect.
Yeah.
Temporary isolation or something, maybe.
Temporary lockdown.
Yeah, temporary lockdown. Standard staple, very good card. The thing about this one, let me look up temporary lockdown, make sure.
This one only affects artifacts and creatures. Temporary lockdown affects all permanents.
Yeah, so temporary lockdown is a non-land permanence. Do you know what is a very common thing in this format? Artifact lands.
Oh my god.
When this enters, it exiles all artifact lands.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
So if you are playing against Affinity or Boom Bust or whatever, you're going to take out half, maybe all of their mana base, plus whatever value artifacts they're running. So like Affinity, you're going to hit their Springleaf Drums and their Ornithopters and their Cranial Platings. Affinity usually will not have a way to answer this unless they sideboarded one in. So half their permanents are gone. They're left with like a Thought Monitor and a Sojourner's Companion, and that's their whole thing. Maybe a Spire of Industry. And then, so like Temporary Lockdown was a $3 or $4 card, and I think this one is potentially better. And then we get to the other ability on it, which for 6 white, you put each card exiled with it into its owner's graveyard, and then you get a 2/2 for every card put into the graveyard this way, and then you sacrifice the Pinnacle Star Cage. So, like, not only are you temporarily exiling, like, 4 creatures or 2 enchantments and an artifact or whatever, depending on what you're playing against, if they don't actually have an answer for the Star Cage, eventually it just puts, like, 4, 8, 12 power into play at end of turn. Like, it doesn't say sorcery speed anywhere. So there are the words that are not on this card. So non-land is not on this card. Activate only as a sorcery is not on this card. The words that they didn't print are what make this interesting to me.
Yeah, the fact it takes the artifact lands is obscene.
I am legitimately very scared of this card for my Boom Bust decks. I am very scared of this card for my Arbine Infinity deck.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I'm considering main decking more counter magic in Bean Infinity because just this card makes me worried.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a reasonable main deck card. Energy Flux is a beating, but that's always a sideboard card. This thing could just be a 2 of in the main deck because most people are going to have hits for it, and it's just good.
Mm-hmm.
Then the last card I've got in the artifacts is Requiem Monolith, sitting at 31 cents. 2 and a black artifact, tap until end of turn, target creature gains. Whenever this creature is dealt damage, you draw that many cards and lose that much life, and then that creature's controller may have this artifact deal 1 damage to it. Activate only as a sorcery. I have already built a 3-0 F&M deck with this card. This past Friday, a buddy of ours, John, borrowed a deck with these and 3-0'd our F&M. So this card is a real card. I've been waiting for something like this to exist, and the reason that I like this card is because of a card called Volcano Hellion, which is a 4-mana 6/5 creature that when it enters, it deals the amount of damage of your choice to any creature and to you. So if the opponent has less life than you just kill them. You target their creature, you deal their life total to it, and they lose that much life. If the Volcano Hellion has lifelink, and they have a creature, you make them lose infinite life.
Yeah.
This is also just a draw engine. Like, if you have a lot of creatures with 2 or 3 toughness, this is a 30-cent Phyrexian Arena.
Yeah.
So the list that we used on Friday is a scam deck. So most of the creatures are black, and it's got a lot of 2 and 3 toughness creatures that cost 2 or 3 mana. And you can have them die, and if they die, then you just scam them back.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Holy cow.
So this is a Phyrexian Arena. It's also a kill condition. It's 30 cents. Like, I won't be surprised if this one goes up to $1, and I'll still play it at $1.
I remember you earlier when you first started this card. You're like, "This is the card I've been looking for."
Yeah, as soon as this card was spoiled, I was like the Junji Ito thing. Like, this is my hole. It was made for me.
This is my hole.
All right. Let's do enchantments. We'll do creatures last because creatures is a big one.
Yeah.
So the only enchantment that I am interested in from this set right off the bat is Seam Rip, which is just an enchantment version of Portable Hole.
Mm-hmm.
So if your deck is doing enchantment stuff instead of artifact stuff, like literal Enchantress, blink blink, Seam Rip. You got a Seam Rip, you're good to go. This is mostly a sideboard card. Depending on meta, it could be main deckable. It's pretty bad against the spell-based combo decks. Like, this does nothing against High Tide. It does basically nothing against Channel Mirror. So that's why it's more of a sideboard thing. But if your meta is like a lot of aggro and a lot of decks with Mana Rocks or Rest in Peace Energy Field, then maybe you can get away with a couple main deck. This is 50 cents. I think it'll probably stay around 50 cents until it rotates out of standard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. Like, this is a fine card. It's less than Swords to Plowshares. It's less than Path to Exile. It's filling a similar role against the Lurrus decks. It just won't hit Lurrus.
Yeah.
Instance, we've got 4. So the first one, I said we would have some lander token stuff on here. This is the first one. So Litho Breaking is a nickel. This is an instant for 2 and a red. Create a lander token. Sacrifice an artifact if you want to. If you sacrifice an artifact, it deals 2 damage to each creature.
Pyroclasm, let's go!
So this is so 3 mana instant speed pyroclasms have been a thing for a while. There's several variants of them. This one is interesting to me because if you're playing in a matchup where the opponent doesn't have 2 toughness creatures, it's a bad rampant growth, and it makes a permanent. So we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but lander tokens have a lot of utility just being an artifact permanent. You can tinker them, you can sacrifice them to trigger stuff, you can feed them to Shrapnel Blast. So anything that you're doing to get extra value out of like clues and foods and treasures, you can also do with lander tokens.
There's a card that's not on the list that relates to Shrapnel Blast that I want to talk about, but we'll talk about it last.
Okay. So reroute systems, or reroute systems, depending on how you want to pronounce it. 1 mana white instant, choose one. Target artifact or creature is indestructible until end of turn, or deal 2 damage to target tapped creature. This is a 10 cent. So this is similar to Blacksmith Skill, but it's giving you a removal spell in addition for 10 cents.
Yeah.
So if you are playing like an aggro mirror where both players have small creatures and burn spells, this will give you a lot of utility. If you're playing against a control deck, then giving your stuff indestructible could be useful. The best removal in the format is Swords to Plowshares, so not giving it hexproof is a big drawback on this. But the plus side is if the opponent is trying to beat you down instead of mess with your creatures, you can stop them with this.
Yeah.
So I would rather have a reroute systems if my opponent is attacking me with Goblin Guide than I would have a Blacksmith Skill.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just another option in that genre of effect where you're protecting your creature. You can also use this proactively, like you make your creature indestructible and then play Shatter the Sky.
It also does say artifact, so you could target one of your artifacts.
Yes, you can target your artifact, and most of the artifact removal people play is destroy and not exile.
That matters.
I've seen Revoke Existence floating around a little bit, but usually what you're looking at is Meltdown, Bioforce, Heritage Reclamation. Those are all destroy. This will protect your artifacts.
Force of Vigor sometimes too.
That's too much money for most people.
That's like $1.
Is it? Even at $1, it's a bit much. Yeah, that's $6.
Yeah, never mind.
Drew, nobody's playing Force of Vigor. But I'm interested in Rewrote Systems as a sideboard card for Zerda Post.
Oh, yeah?
Because it protects Zerda and Monolith and Crawling Barrens.
It does.
So I'm kind of in the market for maybe a 2F copy of this guy.
Okay.
Scour for Scrap. I cannot believe that this card is 15 cents. Do you want to guess how much Fabricate costs right now?
$4?
It's actually less than that. It was $4 for a long time. It's now between $2 and $3. But $2.29 versus 15 cents. And the real thing here is Fabricate is a sorcery, and this is an instant.
The cheapest Fabricate is the Tails one at $2.30.
Yeah. Scour for Scrap, find a Torrential Gearhulk, get back, get back your Cryogen Relic. And then you Torrential Gearhulk, and you flashback the Scour for Scrap for free. And you go and get your Soul Ring, and buy back your Cryogen Relic again. This card is so much value for the decks that want this effect, and we did not really have a good artifact tutor for really any price. Like, besides Tinker, which is restricted, the artifact tutors in this format are all either very narrow, so you have the mages, which are finding you a very specific artifact. This is just any artifact card from your library, plus any artifact card from your graveyard.
That's nuts.
If there's an Emery deck, if there's a Torrential Gearhulk Tinker deck, I think that you probably want to look at this card and see what it does for your deck at 15 cents. Siege Ship Impact, 12 cents. Destroy target artifact or enchantment instant, 1 in a green. So this is a naturalized, but it has the additional text. If the target's mana value is 2 or less, you get a lander token.
Goodbye, artifact land.
Between this card and Heritage Reclamation, we have gotten some amazing naturalizes in the last year. You're basically saying, do I want to be able to exile a card from a graveyard and cantrip, or do I want to be able to ramp sometimes?
Yeah.
And I think 4 mana across 2 turns to blow up, let's say, a cranial plating and then get a land is pretty strong.
Yeah.
And again, we're talking about 12 cents. These are not cards that you are bending your budget to fit. These are filler cards that are just going to sit in your sideboard, and when they're good, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's the point of value vintage. Is that this is where the stuff thrives.
Yeah. So, like, in most formats, you would be like, well, I'm not going to play a Naturalize even with upside because I can play Assassin's Trophy or Hull Breach or whatever it is you want to do. But if you can get a good card for 12 cents in value vintage, you're below average cost for your deck, so that's freeing up more budget for somewhere else.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and look at lands. We've got 5 lands that are not reprints. So the first one is Eumidian Hatchery. And for a while, this was like 30 cents for the cheap one and then $5 for the regular one. And so it didn't seem like it was a real price, but now it's 32 cents and 43 cents. So I think this is just an affordable card. This is a land that has tap, pay 1 life, add black, put a hatching counter on the land. And then when the land goes to the graveyard from the battlefield, you get a 1/1 flying black insect creature token for every hatching counter on it. So we've seen with the Fiery Islet cycle, lands that always cost life are a little bit tricky. They can hurt you. But this is a really good effect to have. You will need a way to sack the land. So some of the ways are Zurin Orb, which makes up for the life loss, Greater Gargadon, which is going to give you a bunch of power when you sack a bunch of stuff to put it in. You can sack the insects to Gargadon if you need to, so this is going to feed Gargadon into play very quickly. And you also can just boom bust and blow up your hatchery. And if you're using bust, and so it's like turn 5 to 8, let's say you've got 4 or 5 counters on the hatchery, you're going to have 5 power after blowing up most of the lands on the board, and it's flying.
That matters.
Cataclysm is a card that I have been getting some use out of. So you're going to keep your good land, you're going to sack the hatchery with the rest of your lands, you're going to go down to 1 creature, but then immediately go back up to 4 or 5 creatures with all these insects. And where I really am interested in this is if you have ways to make the insects more threatening. So either some equipment or an enchantment that's pumping things or just Rancor. Could all be ways to turn a 1/1 flyer into an actual clock.
Yeah.
And again, we're sitting at 30 or 40 cents. This is not a huge investment. I don't think this is a 4 of card. I think this is a 1 or 2 of card for decks that are already playing the ways to take advantage of it. It's not legendary, so you can probably get away with 2, but past that, you don't want your opening hand to be 3 Eumidian Hatcheries as your only lands. That just loses you the game. So I'm interested in 1. I may be interested in 2, in decks that are already doing this. Mm-hmm. We have Festering Thicket.
We'll cover all these at the same time. Because we have 2 of the cycling lands, which we finally got reprinted, and 2 of the Tango lands, which are finally getting reprinted. Or printed. So
Festering Thicket, Glittering Massif are typed cycling lands. So decks that care about land types have been using the allied versions of these for a while. We've got the green, black, and red, white version. Presumably, we'll get the other 3 over the next few sets in precons. And then we've got Radiant Summit and Vernal Fin, which are the cycle or non-cycling but enter untapped if you have 2 or more basics lands. Those are a little bit more expensive. I don't think I'm interested in Summit and Fin yet, but if they get reprinted once, then they'll be 40 cents in line with all the other lands that we play.
Yeah.
And then Festering Thicket at 46 cents is already a reasonable option. Massif at 61 cents, you probably don't want as a 4 of, but like 1 is fine.
Yeah. But like, it's good that they're finally getting reprinted. Like, if we see them again, which will probably only be like a commander set, which
they'll be in commander decks.
Gavin has said we will see these ones again, and we'll see the rest of the cycle. So like we know they're coming.
They're just going to be putting them in precons like they have been with the allied color ones for like 2 years now. And they'll get printed into the ground, which is good. That's what we want. We want to have good mana bases for every color pair. And the enemy color pairs were just a little bit rough prior to getting these cycles finished.
I want the red and blue one, my beloved.
Well, you'll get the red and blue one. You do have Fiery Islet, so red and blue players have been eating okay. But we'll see when we get the rest of them.
I want to be eating good. I don't want to be eating okay.
Well, it's okay. Just eat your okay. All right, let's look at these sorceries. We've got 3 of them. Hem of the Faller, 16 cents. Sorcery for 1 and a black. Surveil 1, draw a card, lose a life. If a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, draw another card. So you only surveil once, but you only lose 1 life, and you draw either 1 or 2 cards. If you are not having non-land permanents leave the battlefield, I wouldn't. This card is pretty bad. Like, don't go for it. If you are reliably like sacrificing creatures or blinking stuff or bouncing your own permanents, this becomes like a much better Night's Whisper. And Night's Whisper has been a playable card in a lot of formats. It surveils, so this can help you put cards in the graveyard. It's a draw 2 for 2, which is very good. That's what you want your draw 2s to cost. And then you're just losing 1 life. So Sign in Blood and Night's Whisper are always 2 life. Neither of them surveils. Sign in Blood can target the opponent, but that's really more of a meme. So I'm interested in this card quite a bit. If we're doing stuff like Eldrazi Spawn, Eldrazi Scions, Chromatic Sphere, Chromatic Star, flashing back Cabal Therapy, sacking creatures to Viscera Seer or other similar effects, Carrion Feeder, this is a pretty reasonable draw engine, and I think it is competition for stuff like Deadly Dispute at half the cost.
Got it.
Now, it is a sorcery, not an instant, so be aware of that for stuff like Deadly Dispute. You're not going to get any end-of-turn, play-around your counter magic type stuff going on with this, but if you're in Black and Value Vintage, you're probably an Inquisition Hem deck. You're not super worried about lose focus or counterspell on your draw spells.
Yeah.
We've got Plasma Bolt, which is red, single red mana sorcery, 2 damage to any target, 3 damage instead if a non-land permanent left the battlefield or a spell was warped this turn.
Okay.
So this is worse Chain Lightning, but 6 cents. So let's look at...
It's more like
Chain
a bad
Lightning,
shock.
28 cents. Well, I mean, it's sort of, but like Chain Lightning is what you're comparing this to. So you want to get 3 damage for 1 mana. This is 2 damage for 1 mana. But you can get to 3 if you sacked a treasure or if a creature died in combat. Notice it doesn't have to be for these spells. It doesn't have to be your permanent. So if you Swords to Plowshares or Power Word Kill or Pyroclasm and your opponent's stuff dies or gets exiled or gets bounced, then you get the Void effect.
Very true.
I don't know that there are a lot of instant voids. I think they deliberately didn't make those at all or in any great number. but it giving you the option to remove your opponent's stuff and or just sacrifice a treasure or a lander or whatever. These are pretty reasonable to upgrade. Think about like Treacherous Push or Fatal Push, I believe it's called. I haven't played Modern for a while. Revolt, very easy to trigger. Normally with fetch lands, granted, but like if you want to enable these, you can enable them. I'm not going to tell you, oh, just cut your lightning bolts, play plasma bolts. But if you have like 2 slots and a burn deck that's using sack effects and you don't have a lot of money, like 10, 15 cents, maybe you can fit a couple of these in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Scout for Survivors is 18 cents, 2 and a white sorcery. Return up to 3 target creature cards with total mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. This card is pretty cracked.
That does seem like it.
Like, if you are doing Thraben Inspector stuff, and your deck is full of 1-drops, or 0-drops, or even the occasional 2-drop. So, like, imagine you get back a Thraben Inspector and a Caustic Bronco. And then you get a +1/+1 counter on each of them. So you're putting 5 power into play for 3 mana, and a clue token, and you have the Bronco. Or actually, yeah, it's 5 power. Or you're putting 2 Thraben Inspectors and a Martyr of Hope. And they all have a counter on them. And then, like, the fail case for this is just, well, they killed my Luris. I gotta buy back my Luris, and now it's a 4/3.
Yeah.
And this is 18 cents. So, like, again, if you've got room in your deck, if your deck is doing this kind of stuff, 1 mana creatures, I think you would want to have, like, probably 12 1-drops in your deck, or 0-drops. You can use this. A lot of reanimation spells, like on Earth, you can't use on stuff like Market Backwalker, but this actually puts a counter on it. So if you reanimate a Market Backwalker or a Hangerback Ballista, it's going to be a 1/1 and not immediately die. So maybe there's a deck that wants to run like 4 of each of those and just do weird artifact reanimation stuff using this spell. This is another one where I don't have a home for it. The words on the card read very good to me.
Yeah.
All right, so we are about halfway done.
We are. We're doing pretty good on time. We're about an hour in.
Yep, so if anybody wants to pause here, go get a drink, we'll come back. We're going to run through these creatures. So let's start.
Do you want me to go over the goofy card now, or do we want to go over the goofy card at the end?
Go ahead and drop your goofy card, and then we'll do my creatures.
My goofy card is Weapons Manufacturing.
I know that card. It's fine.
I think something really cool can be done with it. I don't know what. I swear, but there's something there. There's something there. I like my puzzle goober solitaire deck can see it's Pepe Sylvia right now. But this card is a build around me and it's calling my name. I love it. For those who are listening, it's Weapons Manufacturing, 1 in a red, enchantment. Whenever a non-token artifact you control enters, create a colorless artifact token named Munitions with. When this token leaves the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target.
So, Drew, do you want to know why I didn't actually have this one on the list?
Why'd you not have it on the list?
I think that this is an interesting build-around, but not particularly good, and you need 4 of them to get max value, and they are $2.
I know, but
here's the thing: if this card hits 50 cents, we will probably build a deck with it.
Oh, hell yeah, let's go.
Because I love Greater Gargadon. Greater Gargadon has been my buddy since it was standard legal. This is a Greater Gargadon card. So I already have like a rough sketch of an idea for a deck that could run this. It's just at $2, I'm not interested. At 50 cents, this is my jam.
The hard part is it's being used in standard or it's being used in some weird format.
Yep. But so like we'll watch it, we'll keep an eye on it, and if it drops down, and maybe we gotta wait until rotation, which will be years from now, but eventually, well, maybe we'll see.
I love its extended art too. Its extended art looks like heavy metal.
Alright. Let's run into these creatures.
Alright,
we've got 24 of them.
24 creatures. Alright.
Alfariel, Dreaming Acolyte. 1 blue-black, legendary human cleric. 2/3. When it enters, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact card. During your turn, it has Death Touch.
I love Alpharad.
This is just a little value creature. It's a human, it's a cleric, those are occasionally relevant creature types. The deck that is all humans does not want this card. We've seen several creatures with this draw 2 or draw 3 and then discard some unless you discard a 1 specific. This is just another one of those. Am I saying this is a good card? If you're doing exactly what this wants to do, it's interesting. It's 9 cents. Like, you can't ask that much for less than a quarter.
Yeah.
A Stelly Reclaimer. 31 cents, 3 white, flying 5/4, Angel Warrior. When it enters, return target non-creature, non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this creature. So,
this could be good for Fruity Loops.
If you have a deck idea that involves Sun Titan, you now get to basically play more Sun Titans.
This could be good for Fruity Loops.
I don't think this is good for Fruity Loops. Like you're not doing anything that this wants to do.
Well, with the warp you could get impact tremors or whatever, and then with the regular one you can get your the main enchantment.
Why are those cards in your graveyard?
Because an opponent blew them up.
That's not how this works.
Oh.
You can't rely on your opponent interacting with you in a specific way that gives you value from your other cards. But if you are sacrificing your permanents, like again, Chromatic Sphere, Chromatic Star, Cryogen Relic, all this stuff that we just keep going back over, then also if you can give this haste, oh man. 3 mana for a 5/4 flying haste that warps itself out to come back later is an incredible deal.
Yeah, that is pretty nutty.
So if we're talking like a Faithless Looting deck with some Angers in it, and then maybe we're getting some kind of enchantment that makes tokens when it comes in, or maybe like experimental synthesizers, stuff like that.
Anger is a bit expensive.
Anger is perfectly reasonable. It's like $1.
It's $1.50.
Yeah, $1. No, it's $1.29.
Where are you seeing? $1.
So I'm down. I'm down with Anger. Like again, Faithless Looting costs like 12 cents, 25 cents, and then your Stelly Reclaimers are 30 cents, and then your experimental synthesizers are give me the whole list, please. 26 cents. None of the cards that we're talking about are expensive. Even $1.29 for Angers, you're only using $5 to get a playset.
Yeah.
Case of the Crimson Pulse, running 23 cents. So this could be a win condition in the solitary confinement deck.
Oh, yeah. That would be good.
So, because that deck wants to fill up the graveyard, wants to discard 3 mana enchantments, wants to be saving up value for stuff across turns, and it's been struggling to kill people, and like a 5/4 kills people pretty well.
It sure does.
Baloth Prime, 3 and a green, creature beast, 10/10. This is a 4 mana 10/10. What's the catch? The catch is it enters tapped with 6 stun counters on it. But whenever you sacrifice a land, create a tapped 4/4 green beast token and untap it. So every time you sack a land, you're getting a 4/4 and removing one of those stun counters. And then it has 4, sacrifice a land, gain 2 life. This guy was like $5, and it has gone down to 42 cents. This is another card. Cataclysm. Loves this card. Greater Gargadon. Loves this card. Razia's Purification. Not something that I've seen a lot of play with. Maybe we're doing it. Global Ruin. Loves this card. And I have a green-white Global Ruin Cataclysm deck already. But like, even if you play this and then you just like sacrifice Tri-land, one of the Modern Horizons common Tri-lands, you still get a 4/4.
Yeah.
So like, you've paid 3 and a green for a 4/4. Okay. And then maybe 2 turns later you do it again. Now you've got a 10/10 that only has 2 stun counters left on it.
Does this make Evolving Wilds playable?
I don't think so. I have a playset of Friday Night Magic Evolving Wilds, and I just can't do anything with them because those Modern Horizons Tri-lands plus the new Capenna Tri-lands are just too good.
I'm memeing, but yeah.
I know, but like, plus the ability on this to sack a land and gain 2 life, it's not nothing.
Yeah. It would be good with a Menagerie.
I actually am interested in this guy alongside the Gitrog monster because she's a big creature that likes to sacrifice lands.
Yeah.
This is a big creature that likes to sacrifice lands. Maybe we can make them kiss.
Is the Gitrog a girl?
I think so. I don't know. I thought in the lore she was. I don't know. That's been my headcanon. And so we're gonna believe that. But yeah, I'm interested in this card. Also, if you like have spells that just care about power or toughness, like maybe you can't ever untap this, but you just sack it to like Momentous Fall. How much does that cost right now?
It seems Gitrog is an it.
So Momentous Fall is like $2, but Disciple of Bolas is 26 cents. And Altar of the Wretched is 50 cents. So, yeah, you could draw 10 cards and mill 10 cards with an Altar of the Wretched and the Baloth Prime.
Yeah.
So there's some play here. At 40 cents for this thing, I'm interested. There's some brewing space here. The next 2 cards I would like to talk about as a pair because they overlap and they are wanting to do similar things. The first one is Biomechan Engineer, which is a 2/2 for a green and a blue. It's an insect artificer. When it enters, you make a lander token, and then you can pay 8 to draw 2 cards and make a 2/2 robot creature token.
It's a shaman or whatever. What are the creature types where you pay 8 and you get an effect?
Yeah, it's one of those guys. And then Biotech Specialist is a 1/3 insect scientist for red and a green, makes a lander token, and whenever you sacrifice an artifact, it deals 2 damage to target opponent.
That's pretty
So
good.
by the time this video comes out, because it's coming out on the 8th, right?
No, it's coming out the 5th.
Okay, that's probably still fine. By the time this video comes out, the deck list I'm working on with these will probably be public.
Yeah.
I am working on a Temur Tinker Gearhulk deck that runs both of these cards. And I have burned people out using treasures and clues and landers from like 12 life.
Wow.
And the really fun thing is, actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep it secret, but I'm gonna give everybody a hint.
We can go over it next week.
Sacrificing a treasure is a mana ability.
Oh my god.
And if you don't want your opponent to mess with your combo, maybe you can think of a reason why that's relevant.
Yeah, that's mana bullying, baby.
All right, so those are the two guys where I said we would talk about some insects later with Swarmyard. These are the buddies. So
yeah.
we've got a pair of 2-mana insects that are making landers and ramping you, and then paying you off for having artifacts. So, biotech specialist under 50 cents, biomech and engineer. Dude's a nickel. Like, come on.
Dude's a nickel.
All right, Code Cracker Hound.
What a cute little doggo.
This is Space Puppy. 3 mana, 2/1, blue dog. When this creature enters, look at your top 2 cards, 1 in your hand, 1 in your graveyard, warp, 2 and a blue. So this guy is just... it's just a 3-mana creature that draws a card, and then it does it again. If you are blinking, like, if you are Yorioning, this is another warp thing. I think blink decks are another thing that has gotten a lot of new toys with this set. So if you like sacrificing permanents, if you like having artifact tokens, if you like blinking stuff, this is the set for you. This is just a little 10-cent dog, a little bit of value. This card's not particularly good. Like, the 3 mana for a 2/1 body, the rate's just not there. But if you like your space doggos, it's not embarrassing. It's okay. He's just a little guy.
Okay.
Cosmogoyf.
Down
to 86 cents. We're talking black-green for an elemental Lurgoyf, and then its power is equal to the number of cards you own in exile, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. So I will say first off, elemental is a very relevant creature type.
It is.
I don't know that this ability really synergizes with a lot of other stuff elementals are doing. Just be aware it is not only a Lurgoyf, it's not a Lurgoyf horror, it's an elemental Lurgoyf. I like this guy a lot. I'm not the only one. A lot of people have been talking about this card. It was like $4 and it was $2. Now it's under $1. It's interesting. If you are playing with or against Rest in Peace, this thing is going to be enormous.
Mm-hmm.
If you are playing ways to exile your own graveyard or both players' graveyards, this thing is going to be enormous.
Yeah.
If you are pitching cards to Grief, for example, it's going to be fairly big.
Yeah.
The best removal spell in the format we talked about earlier, Swords to Plowshares. Let's say that they swords 2 of your creatures over the course of the game. Well, now your Cosmoglyphs are +2/+2.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for 2 mana, just like Tarmogoyf was when it was in Standard. You can pay 2 mana, and you're going to get a 3/4 pretty easily. You're going to get a 5/6 if you want to work for it. That's strong. That's still a good rate.
Sub $1, you can run a playset and not be breaking the bank.
Exactly. This is a playset card. You're going to build around this. You're going to have the ways to pay it off. You're going to get 4 of them for $3, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Depth Shaker Titan. So you want to talk about tinker targets? Every artifact creature you control, and by the way, this is an artifact creature, has melee, trample, and haste. So people are going to be like, well, melee, it's not good. It's a commander thing. My understanding of melee is if you attack one opponent, you still get +1/+1.
Yep.
So you're giving all of your artifact creatures +1/+1, melee, trample, and haste. This guy by himself is attacking as a 6/6 trample haste. That's a ball lightning. Now, what's the other type? Or what's the other ability? When this creature enters, any number of target non-creature artifacts you control become 3/3 artifact creatures. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. So this comes in. You have 2 landers, a clue, and a treasure. Those are 3/3s now. When they attack, they become 4/4s. They have trample. You're attacking for 21 trample when you resolve your tinker. Then, guess what? At the beginning of the next end step, you sacrifice them. So your biotech specialist sees them all get sacrificed. That's 8 more damage.
Yep.
And then 5 red artifact creature robot. Like, I don't think the robot kindred is a thing yet. Maybe we'll get there one day. It's fine. It's just fine. You can throw a possibility for this. You can shape anew for this in your artifact token deck. I was brewing around Tangletrove Kelp, and the deck was just not quite there. That required clues specifically. So all of your treasures and foods you couldn't really take advantage of. Landers wouldn't do anything. This new guy, he's like, yeah, whatever artifacts you got, token, non-token, you can turn your border posts into 3/3s. You can turn your Ichor Wellsprings into 3/3s. Artifact lands, 3/3s. Just everything that you've got. Your opponent is looking at a board of like 3 artifact lands and an Ichor Wellspring and a Soul Ring and a Tithing Blade, and then oops, here comes 30 damage.
Yeah. That's kind of nutty.
Yep. The haste is what does it for me, because a lot of the time you'll be able to make some tokens on the turn where you cast Tinker, and with most of these effects, so like Wall of or Tangletrove Cup or whatever, those guys are just going to sit home. They'll turn into creatures, but they can't attack. These ones attack, and they trample. It's amazing. And we're talking 32 cents. Again, plenty of room for one of these in a Tinker deck if you're doing the artifact token stuff.
Yeah.
Edge Rover, 8 cents. Green, artifact creature, robot scout, 2/2 with reach, so you're getting a 2/2 with a good ability for 1 mana, and then when it dies, each player creates a lander. So this is 2 artifacts for 1 mana. We've seen that be really good before with stuff like Blood Fountain. It has a drawback if your opponent has basics. Most people do, not everyone does. And it also will let you ramp. I haven't found a home for this guy. I tested it in NickFit, and it was just so much worse than Veteran Explorer that I just couldn't justify it. It does sack to Flare of Cultivation, which is a good backup plan, but I'm sticking with my Insidious Fungus in that deck for now.
Yeah.
But this is an artifact. Sometimes you want to sack artifacts. Again, this is a set for it. So 8 cents, this guy's fine.
Yeah.
Faller's Faithful. 2 and a black, human wizard, 3/1. When it enters, destroy up to 1 other target creature. If that creature wasn't dealt damage this turn, its controller draws 2 cards.
Well, it's not Ravenous Chupacabra.
Well, it's not 4 mana either.
True.
So, one thing that I have been interested in this format is draw punishing cards. So, like, Underworld Dreams, War of the Spark Narset, Notion Thief, Hull Breacher, those kind of guys. This fits in there. It's a removal spell. And it's also a draw spell in decks that want to have token creatures to sacrifice.
Yeah.
So this is another one of those cards where I don't think it's a great card, but at 7 cents it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
And again, human and wizard, both relevant creature types. Maybe that's a thing that'll come up.
I can't wait to play my Anala Value Vintage Commander deck.
Yeah. Gene Pollinator. Green, 1/2, artifact creature, robot insect. Tap an untap permanent you control, get 1 mana of any color. This is just a basic mana dork.
Yeah.
Like, again, this is not the best guy that's ever been printed. He looks really sad compared to Ignoble Hierarch, but he's 3 cents.
Yeah.
And unlike most of these, he doesn't have to tap a creature or a creature on an artifact. It's just whatever you've got laying around. You want to tap your cranial plating, you want to tap your planeswalker, you want to tap your spreading seas. I don't know what you're doing with this guy on a spreading seas deck, but you can tap it.
You never know.
Yeah, I mean, if we go real deep in the tank, then maybe we can find a home for this little 3-cent insect.
He has potential. Or it has potential.
He's doing things that have not exactly been done before, and that's what we're trying to call out. New effects, new versions of old effects, low budget.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about a card that you do have to invest some actual dollars into if you want to run a playset. Halia, Guided by Light. 2 and a white, human soldier, legendary creature, 3/3. When Halia or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain a life. So this is a soul sister that also counts artifacts. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life this turn. And warp for a single white mana. So if you are doing token stuff to where you can reliably trigger this for 3 life a turn, and I'm going to say it's not that hard because you warp in a Halia and then you play a Thraben Inspector or a Novice Inspector, that's 3 life. You're getting your card.
Yeah.
The next card on the list is 2 tokens, so that's another one. But like, this is just a Soul Sister, which tends to be expensive in most formats. This is a draw engine in white, which are getting more common, but they're still not super common. So this could be a Martyr Proc card. This could be a Soul Sisters card if people want to build that deck. It's just life gain payoffs, token payoffs, 70 cents. We'll see if it like catches standard plane goes up or not. But I think as a 3 of, or even maybe a 4 of, if you really want to go into it, this is probably a build around playable card.
Thinking of Martyr Proc, that does remind me, there's another card that's not on here that's interesting. Not necessarily good, but interesting.
The mill card.
Yeah, the mill card.
I'm pretty sure that's a meme. Like, Hope is just better, because Hope is a creature that you can recur with Luris.
Yeah. Space-time anomaly. Target player mills cards equal to your life total.
Yeah, in order to kill them with that, you need to probably gain like 25 life, or even 30 if you're trying to do it really quickly.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know that it's worth it.
I'm not saying it is, but it's worth mentioning at least.
But yeah, it's a meme. If you like to meme, that's probably a card you can meme with. Honored Knight Captain. This guy, or these 2 guys, because he comes with a buddy, I'm really excited about. So 1/1 for 1 and a white, Human Advisor Knight. When it enters, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token, and then 4 white, sacrifice this creature, search your library for an equipment card, put it right onto the battlefield, and then shuffle.
That's Batterskull, baby. That gets Batterskull.
This is a Batterskull. It is also a Skull Clamp. Like, Skull Clamp is a $4 or $5 card, and it doesn't seem to go down when it gets reprinted, so you're probably only fitting one of them, but, like, what do you want in your Skull Clamp decks? 1/1 tokens. This guy brings a 1/1 token.
Skull Clamp is currently $4.50.
Yep, it's $4 or $5. Always will be, has been for years. But there's some other equipments that you can look at. Just in general, the really good equipments are also really expensive, but the reasonable equipments are not expensive. And the fact that you can do this at instant speed, and it's basically uncounterable if the Knight Captain has already been sitting in play for a while, and it just puts it right on the battlefield at the end of your opponent's turn, or if you're getting Batterskull after they declare attackers. This is a lot of value. This guy has some real play, I think.
Yeah. Illvoid Galeblade.
So this is a single blue mana, 1/1 flash flying, 2 sacrifice this creature, draw a card. This is a blue warrior. Don't get a lot of those, just making a note of it. This guy is going to live in the same space that Spectral Sailor lives in, but instead of being better for like spirit decks or control decks that want to take initiative, this guy is going to be more friends with Luris. So this is more of a blue-black, blue-white tempo type card.
Interesting.
And is this better than Spectral Sailor? 90% of the time, I think no. Do you maybe want more than 4 Spectral Sailor in your Luris tempo deck? I could kind of see it. Like, maybe you want a 3-3 split, or like a 3-1 split, or a 3-2, like just tinkering around with the numbers. And if you are trying to get Void as a thing, this will enable all your Void spells. And if you are trying to like trigger Blood Artist type guys, this will do that. So there's again some play. And this card, 2 cents. You don't ever get playable cards for 2 cents. And I think this one is like right on the edge. Caveron Harrier.
The Illvoid's definitely a cute card. So I have my mic muted. I said the Illvoid's a cute card.
Oh, yeah. Caveron Harrier, red, 2/1, artifact creature, robot, soldier. Again, make a note, soldier. Whenever this creature attacks, you can pay 2. If you do, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token that's tapped and attacking. Sacrifice that token at end of combat. So this is another one of those cards that makes an artifact and sacrifices an artifact, and it's multiple permanents for 1 mana up front, and then you do have to pay more later. But this is a 2/1 for 1 mana. Like, the base stats on this are already quite good. Like, it doesn't have haste, so you're not in Goblin Guide territory. It doesn't give you card advantage. We're not talking about a Ragavan here. But it's a red Savannah Lions, which for a long time they refused to give us, but now we've got several. And if you have extra mana laying around, this guy attacks for 4. And if you care about artifacts coming into play or leaving play, like a lot of the new Blood Artists care about artifacts as well as creatures. This guy is doing that every turn you can pay, and he costs 8 cents. Like, there's just some pretty nice bulk cards in this set, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be like, okay, I want to build a deck to maximize the potential of Caveron Harrier. That's not really what's going on. But, like, if you're like, well, my Shrapnel Blast deck has 2 slots and 20 cents, what can I play? And now we're talking about Caveron Harriers.
Yeah.
Lightstall Inquisitor.
The Professor talked about this one.
Yep, white, 2/1 Angel Wizard, Vigilance. This is another 2/1 for 1 mana. It's an angel, it's a wizard. Again, those are creature types that matter. When it enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hand. They can play it for as long as it remains exiled, and then each spell cast this way costs 1 more to cast, and if they play a land this way, it enters tapped. So you're just playing your 2 mana or 1 mana 2/1, and you're making your opponent put a tax on the card of their choice. This is 91 cents, so it's a little bit pricey, but body's fine, creature types are relevant. It's a 1 mana angel. I think all of those so far have been memes, and this one is kind of real.
What do you mean Segovian Angel's a meme?
Excuse me. It's like, imagine if you just like play turn 1 Lightstall Inquisitor, turn 2 Thalia, and then turn 3 some other stacks creature, like Elite Spellbinder or whatever. You've put some disruption on your opponent. You're getting some good death and taxes stuff going on.
Interesting.
Possibility Technician. 2 in a red, 3/3, Kavu Artificer, Warp for 1 in a red. Whenever this creature or another Kavu you control enters, exile the top card of your library. For as long as that card remains exiled, you can play it if you control a Kavu. 17 cents for this guy. So this is a 3 mana 3/3. So not good stats, slightly better than embarrassing.
Yeah.
When it enters, you basically draw a card, and then you lose that card if you don't have a Kavu available. But it's also got Warp, so you can potentially get a second card if you can sneak in the Warp cost.
Yeah.
And then, just like all of the other Warp creatures, if you can give it haste, if you can blink it, then you're getting more value. There's a couple of good Kavu. I think Flametongue Kavu and Flametongue Yearling. If your opponent has creatures, those are great. Otherwise, they are pretty bad, obviously. There's an old joke about how Flametongue Kavu, what the pros fail to realize is that it's only good against decks with creatures. But if your Flametongue Kavu has to come in and kill itself, it feels a lot better if you're getting a card off of that.
FTK is 5 cents.
Yeah, and the Yearling are also bulk. So most of the decks that I've played against in the last few months have had creatures in them. Even the like Rest in Peace Energy Field type decks occasionally make creature tokens with like Castle Ardenvale or Planeswalkers. So you don't want Flametongue Kavu against those decks, but if the floor is it kills a token and draws you a card, that's way better than the floor being it does absolutely nothing and rots in your hand.
Hey, you could do Raging Kavu. That's pretty good.
Is that the domain one? No, it's not.
It's haste and flash for 3/1 for 3.
I probably am not interested in that, but if you want to build a Kavu type deck, go nuts.
No. I just look at all the Kavus.
Starfield Shepherd, 26 cents. 3 white, flying, 3/2, angel, warp 1 in a white. When it enters, search your library for a basic plains or a creature card with mana value 1 or less. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle.
Okay.
So, again, if we're talking about Thraben Inspectors or Martyr of Sands, or in a different deck, Market Backwalker, this is an interesting card. Like, 1 or less mana value is not a ton of options, but it's also not nothing. Like, Ranger of Eos has been a good card. Ranger Captain of Eos is way too expensive for this format, but it's a great card. And so this is finding you the same class of creature as those guys, but you can do it on turn 2. And then you can do the body of the spell later on, and it's the same body as Ranger of Eos, but it has flying. So 3/2 flying is an actual threat, whereas 3/2 on the ground is just kind of a dirtily chunker.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of interested in this card to play test. I don't think it's the best card ever. I'm just interested in it. Surge Conductor. So this is a 3-mana 3/2 artifact creature robot. Whenever another non-token artifact you control enters, proliferate. So the thing that makes me like this creature is artifact lands are uncountable and cost 0 mana.
Oh, yeah.
So you can proliferate once every turn as long as you have a supply of artifact lands, and that can do some silly stuff.
So, question. Is this a scientist card?
I don't think so. I think our 3-drop slot is just, we want to max out on Sharks and Monastery Mentor, and we're currently only running 3 of those 5. But I think this might be a card for a deck that we haven't built yet.
Got it.
So this could be like a Steel Overseer Hardened Scales type card. Hardened Scales is cheap, Overseer is cheap now, and then you would just run modular creatures.
Okay. So, like, classic Affinity.
Yeah, we're looking more at, like, old Affinity, like, before they printed Thought Monitor, after they printed Steel Overseer, that kind of effect. Let's look at what Arcbound Ravager is going for. Okay, he's still $8, so we're not doing that. But Steel Overseer is 38 cents.
Yeah.
Well, that guy was also in the Commander deck. Yeah. So Steel Overseer and Surge Conductor, and then just the 1 and 2 mana modular guys. Ginger Brute to put counters on, Cranial Plating. I think we have a real deck.
Yeah.
It's a variant of Affinity. It might be better or worse than like the Beans Thought Monitor Affinity decks. We'll have to try it out and see. Caesarian Voidborn, 12 cents, 2 and a black, 2/2. Or a Vampire Soldier, whenever this creature or another creature or artifact you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, warp for a single black.
Okay, what artifact dying, does that count as an artifact going to the graveyard?
Yes.
Okay, I just worded it a little bit weird.
So, this is a Marionette Apprentice that doesn't come with a token, but you can put it into play for 1 mana.
Yeah.
This is one of the best payoffs for sacking a bunch of stuff in black. Like, if you want Blood Artists, this is an amazing Blood Artist.
Yeah.
We have gotten a lot of good Blood Artists in the last couple, and like Foundations had one, Modern Horizons 3 had one. I think what you want is 4 of this new one, and then 4 of the Marionette Apprentice. And then you just get to go nuts. Like, it'll be very easy to have like 2 or 3 of these Blood Artist type guys. And just every treasure you sack is 3 life. Every creature you sack is 3 life.
Yeah.
And then this guy counts itself.
How much is Disciple of the Vault?
Not a lot. It's a playable card, but it doesn't count creatures.
I mean, but
it's still 70 cents, yeah.
Well, you could do something with that. There's something there.
There's enough of these that you can go hard in on them if you want. And then speaking of Blood Artist sacrifice type stuff, we have Timeline Caller.
So this
which
one
is
so pause. Oh, I've mentioned this a few times, But this one and Umbral Caller Zealot, which we'll get to next, are more cards the professor has mentioned talking about.
Yeah. So this guy is sitting around 50 cents. 2/2 haste for black, Drix Warlock. Warlocks are outlaws, which does matter because people play Shoot the Sheriff occasionally. But this is just a 2-mana 2/2 haste, and then you can warp it in from the graveyard. And this warp cost is black and 2 life. So this is turn 1, 2/2 haste. Turn 2, you can replay it as a 2/2 haste. And then if it dies, you can start the cycle over again.
Pretty good cycle.
So this is a sack fodder guy. This is a hasty bear type guy. I'm very interested in this. I think this has a lot of legs. 2 life repeatedly adds up, but guess what? If you have multiple blood artists in play, like we just talked about, then suddenly 2 life is nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's go to the next one. Umbral Caller Zealot, Human Cleric, 1 and a black, 3/2. This one, again, I'm saying it a lot because they're doing it a lot. The creature types on this guy are great. And then it just has Sacrifice another creature or artifact, Surveil 1. Surveil is incredible. It is so much value compared to Scry like you get on Viscera Seer. And then this is a 2 mana, 3 power body. Like, it's not even an embarrassing body. Like, Viscera Seer is a 1 mana 1/1. You might get in 1 or 2 attacks with it, but you're not really doing much. If you get in 2 attacks with this, that's 6 damage. That's setting up your Blood Artist really well.
Yeah.
And then he is more expensive. We're looking at like 80 cents for the basic printing. But again, all of these cards are under $1. You don't need a lot of expensive ones because your engine cards are all cheap. And then you can run like Power Word Kill as your removal, and Inquisition and Hymn, which are also like $1. And then you're looking at 15 $1 cards, and then maybe you play Dark Rituals, and then the rest of your deck is cheap.
Yeah.
Weft Stalker Ardent.
This is a
red.
This is a Fruity Loops card. It's a Fruity Loops card. Let's go.
We got there. We got to the Fruity Loops card.
Let's
Whenever
go!
another
Woo!
creature or artifact you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. So again, 1 mana to get a variant of an effect that has seen play before into play. 44 cents, not unreasonable. Artificer, not really a creature type. Drix is brand new. Only stuff in this set have the Drix type. I don't think it matters. So this guy, you're really just playing for the ability, the Impact Tremors type thing. But getting an Impact Tremors that can also do artifacts for 1 mana is great. And then I forgot to mention it on the previous Warp cards, but if your deck cares about casting things from exile, Warp does set you up for that on a future turn, just like Plot and Foretell do. So you might be able to find some payoffs in that space as well.
And it does go through stuff like not the bell, fucking Grafdigger's Cage.
Yeah. All right, we are on our last guy of the set review. We are on Shu-Efit Osteo-Harmonist. So this guy is 1 and black for a 2/3, human wizard, legendary creature. Tap, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton in addition to its other types and has no abilities. Activate only as a sorcery. So I have seen a couple people talking about this with Death Shadow, which basically you play the Death Shadow and it sees that your life is too high and it immediately dies, and then you tap to bring it back as a 13/13.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I'm not opposed to that, but I like this guy with just like Troll of Khazad-dûm and Generous Ent, and maybe Street Wraith. Like, you're playing them because the cycling ability is good, and then you have to find a reanimation spell. Like, if you reanimate your troll and it doesn't have evasion, that's fine. It's a 6/5. Your Generous Ent doesn't come with the food, it's a 5/7. You're still getting bodies, and those are, to a degree, just part of your mana base. So you can play this guy, and you play your Death Shadow, and then you have 8 land cycling creatures that are also just putting themselves in the graveyard for free. You have 4 Street Wraiths. Like, 3/4 is not an impressive body, but if you're getting, like, it costs 2 life. You're getting the card back, you're not paying any mana for it, and then you get a 3/4. Awesome. You also get to play Life Death, so you're reanimating stuff the normal way too.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And then just fill the rest of the deck up with Disruption. This guy's 27 cents. Like, a build around at 27 cents, and the cards that it synergizes with are all like 50 to 75 cents. You have a lot of room in your budget for nice lands and powerful discard spells. You can run good removal instead of like cast down or whatever you might have to play, power word kill. You can just play Assassin's Trophy or Abrupt Decay if your whole engine costs like $3. So I'm on board with this guy.
They do seem neat.
Yep. So that has been our entire list, or at least my entire list. Did you have any other cards that you wanted to call out?
No, the only, like, I mentioned all the lands to you already a few days ago when I went over it.
And I put a couple of them on here.
Like, Thespian Stage we mentioned before we started, and, like, it went down in price, but also, like, whatever. It was already pretty cheap.
Yeah, Thespian Stage in the Doctor Who deck brought it down to where people were already playing with it. So this is either reprints that were a little bit on the pricey side, or new cards is what we've been focusing on.
Yeah. And then Weapons Manufacturing is just, it's a funny card. I like it, but, like, I don't know if I'll be able to play it or not.
Hey, I'll make you a promise. If Weapons Manufacturing goes to 50 cents and you buy a playset of them, I'll find something to do with them.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So, if you enjoy this content, we're probably going to do a set review for every set. God help me, I have to review the Spider-Man set. And then we've got deck techs, we've got gameplay videos, we've got something coming out every Tuesday. So like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to check those out. And then if you're interested in Value Vintage, which I don't think we explained what we're doing, but Value Vintage uses the Vintage Banned and Restricted list. It is a 60-card constructed format. And the only caveat is your deck has to be $30 or less by TCG Player Market, which if you build your deck on Moxfield, it can check that for you and just let you know what your price is. And there is a Discord where a lot of people are talking about and playing and brewing this format. So just find the Value Vintage Discord and check them out. We'd love to see you there. We'd love to see you commenting on our videos. So shout it out.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, the whole deal. We should have mentioned at the beginning of the video. We're still getting used to it. These videos are filmed in a very, like, spur of the moment, like, ad-lib, whatever way.
We are very chill here. Value Vintage in general is a very chill format. Most people have pet decks that are absolute nonsense.
There's even the big deck.
Even the tier 1 meta decks are kind of nonsensical. Like, you're using Channel to cast Lich's Mirror so you can kill people with Boom Mobile after looping Lich's Mirror 5 times. It is a very fun format. Everybody has been very friendly. Drew and I got into it a couple months ago, and it's been a great time.
Yeah.
and I love the format. I love to build decks for it. You get to play with some cards that have either not been playable for a long time, or are banned everywhere, or are basically bulk rares. And in this format, bulk rares are the king.
Mm-hmm. And like you've seen with all these past few videos, we can keep doing this. We love doing this. Like, we love chalking out time, sitting down, building a list, testing it out with games, and like doing these set reviews as it's fun stuff. So we're thankful that we're able to do it.
So for better or for worse, they are releasing new cards faster than the format can be solved. It's never going to get stale.
Mm-hmm. And also, as they reprint cards will plummet in value.
Yep. Cards will occasionally go up, but more often, cards go down. A lot of the time when a card does go up from a new set, the other cards in your deck will go down, and you'll be able to keep playing your list. And most of the time, even if something goes up, you can find ways to work around it.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you joined us for this long, like and subscribe like we already said. We really appreciate it. Leave a comment below. On the left hand of the screen, you will see a video for you at the top, for the left, which is a video suggested for you. It's special. It's algorithmically chosen. It knows what you want. Watch it. It'll be cool. And then underneath that is a playlist of all the other Magic Talk with Toads. All of them are Value Vintage. We might stretch into other formats later, but we're enjoying Value Vintage now.
Yep, Value Vintage has been great. Both of us also are into Pauper, so Pauper is the most likely direction for expansion, but I'm not going to say that there's never going to be pre-modern content.
I do also have a kind of Mimi Commander format that we can look into one of these days.
I guess.
We'll go over that later. That's for later. If you want to know about the Mimi Commander format, leave a comment. Anyway, thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you again.
Bye!
Bye!